Only the great Tang can create such a legend. 675 AD, the construction of the Vairocana Buddha is completed. More than 1,300 years later, people are still amazed by his beautiful face, arguing with Wu Zixin's bold move. But it's not just Wu Zixin behind this. There are also many stars in the lobby. The Longmen Grottoes are in a magical location. Extend the central axis of Luoyang City in the Sui where it Tang Dynasty River is to the south. Two mountains across the river, like a door finch. Ancient name, Yik. During the period of Emperor Sui Yang, it was renamed the Tang Dynasty, ushered in a great change. The Great Tang is about to replace India, becoming a new center of global Buddhism. Longmen will also take on the heavy responsibility. This is where the first legend appears. He is Emperor Gaizong of Tang Lizi, the real Lizi, not the cowardly emperor of literature. Under his will, the territory of the Tang Dynasty reached the largest in history. It is also under his will. An unprecedented person appeared in Longmen West Mountain, the Buddha country on earth for no comer. First, let's see how big this Buddhist country is. My height is 1 to 2 meters. Their height is 9 to 13 meters. The asparagus Buddha is 17.14 meters high. We all have tall bodies. Let's look at it from another angle. Did you see it? This is actually a depth of 38.7 meters. O-shaped hall with a width of 33.5 meters. It is equivalent to digging up all sides of the mountain. The stone is bright, even more than the largest cave in Yungang. You must know that the mountain of Longmen is limestone, harder than the sandstone of Yungang, difficult to carve. Above the hall, there was a herringbone gutter. Prevent rain from initializing. 9 large statues, full of mountains and Buddhas. It was arranged in this huge hall. Such a big project, it can be said to be the embodiment of the state in the Tang Dynasty. Now, how ingenious is the design of this Buddhist kingdom. Standing below and looking up, you will find the head-to-body ratio of the Buddha appears very coordinated. But the Buddha is 17.14 meters high. The head alone is 4 meters tall, does not conform to normal body proportions. But only so, people standing below to achieve a normal visual perception. And the big Buddha turned slightly to the cold hand so that people could meet his gaze. In addition, the disciples of the Bodhisattva next to the Buddha, Tian Wang lux, or graceful, well-behaved or old-fashioned, weathered or angry eyes Yuanzhen, majestic. Even the leaf forks on the feet are so vivid. At first, they may have been dressed in gold or brightly colored. Together, they form a huge, vivid Buddhist scenery. And those who can create such works, only the master craftsmen of the Great Tang. They should not be forgotten. Why Buddhism in the Tang Dynasty can have such a big impact? What role did Wu Zixin play in it? Let's go back in time. A Tang Shuang drama in which one person destroys the Jade Kingdom. This is Binyang South Cave, Maine. The statue next to the Buddha is incomplete, but the text below, it gives us an important message. Let's take a closer look. Wang Zuans. In the next episode, all beings in the Dharma realm enter to create a shop of Maitreya statues. Who is Wang Zuans? It was 647 AD. Wang Zuans as a historical record of the crossing the Tibetan plateau to reach northern India. Unfortunately, it was attacked locally. The mission was almost wiped out. But he managed to unite with the surrounding regimes, lead the army and guide the enemy capital, and return to Chang'an the following year to present gifts to Emperor Taizong of Tang. Destroy the enemy with a distance of 10,000 miles. News came. Even the eminent monk Zunzang, who returned, he also began to praise the rising Tang Dynasty. He actually brought the land where the Buddha taught the Dharma into his rule. The sacred Buddhist scriptures are also included in the inner government. Indeed, with the decline of Buddhism itself in India, Daitang begins to become a new center of global Buddhism. But compared to the glory of the dynasty, at this time, Wu Zixin's road ahead seems to be bleak. He doesn't even realize the power of Buddhism in his future. Since entering the palace at the age of 14, he is just Emperor Taizong, a little concubine by my side. No promotions in over a decade. After the death of Emperor Taizong, he was even sent to a temple to have his hair cut. The future will only be accompanied by the ancient Buddha, with green lanterns. But fate favors Wu Zixin. Soon after, he was Emperor Gaizong of Tang Lizi, again received the palace, become a queen, and participate in the government together. Maybe the experience of becoming a monk strengthened his connection to Buddhism. In order to accelerate the construction of the Lushena Buddha, Wu Zixin also donated 20,000 jar of fat powder. In addition, the face of the Buddha is very feminine. The meaning of Lushena shines brightly. It is similar to the character Shao created after he became emperor. Many people speculate the Buddha was carved in his own image. The academic community generally the power of the Tang at this time remains firmly in the hands of Emperor Gaizong of Tang. Wu Zixin does not yet have the corresponding strength. The truth may no longer be known. But in the gantry statue, the power of women is really outstanding. Before entering this cave, let's take a look at the Supreme, the statue known as the most beautiful Guanyin in Longmen. Before the Tang Dynasty, the images of Guanyin statues are mostly the atmosphere of the Tang Dynasty changed, especially the statues of the Supreme Emperor Gaizong of Tang Dynasty. It is more about the femininity and elegance of women. Even though his head is mutilated, it doesn't diminish his beauty in the slightest. Today's advances in technology let the archaeologists have him restored and 3D print. Comparison between ancient Lao and modern. Enter the cave, except for the 5 main statues in the middle. You can also see countless miniatures. The smallest Buddha statue is only 2 centimeters high. The largest one is only 5 or 6 centimeters. The total reached a staggering 15,000 tons. This cave is also known as the 10,000 Buddha Cave. His 2 female photographers on a giant lotus flower at the top of the cave left a big name. Let's identify. Big Trader, shaking God Watch. Naidoba Yunzin Master. The Great Trader was a female official in the court of the Tang Dynasty, the second highest rank product. The Zen master of the inner road factory was a high-ranking bhikshuni in the court. This is a rather flamboyant construction, have a higher social status with women in the Tang Dynasty, and a relatively open society. You can imagine, Wu Zixin's road to power must have taken advantage of such a social atmosphere. But more importantly, there's another story. Ad 683 Z died. Wu Zixin's Ethereum Empress status, Lin Dynasty, competent. At this time, Wu Zixin had long been convinced of the power of religion. In order to clear the obstacles of public opinion, he will create mysteries for himself. There are 7 photographs in this Buddhist magazine, line up along the cliff. Sitting side by side are the statues of the 3 deities, the theme of 3 Buddhas belonging to Buddhism. Among them, the luminous Buddha symbolizes the past, Shakyamuni Buddha symbolizes the present, Maitreya Buddha symbolizes the future. When 3 statues appear at the same time, Buddha Shakyamuni is usually placed in the middle guard, but here is the center of defense. But Maitreya Buddha represents the future. After Wu Zixin took control of the government, many Maitreya appeared in the Dragon Gate, the cave where the Buddha is the prime minister. This is obviously intentional. In the Buddhist scriptures, Maitreya Buddha symbolizes the future. He will be in the future paradise. Replace Sakyamuni Buddha. This is precisely what Wu Zixin longed for. He wants the world to believe the future has arrived. And he is the embodiment of Maitreya Buddha. Perhaps with the benefit of Wu Zixin, the monks also forged and tampered with the adults' fine golden sutras, proclaiming the reincarnation of Maitreya as the Lord of the world, and 1,000 women in the incarnation of the story of becoming king. Under the continuous momentum of Buddhism, add clever politics. Add 690. At the age of 66, Wu Zixin finally ascended the throne, become the only queen in Chinese history. Due to the queen's preference for Longmen Grottoes, it also ushered in another peak period for him. In the end, the mountains on both sides of the gantry, the total number of statues has reached more than 100,000. It is the best cave statue in China. It was first excavated from the northern to the great construction of the stars of the Tang Dynasty. Longmen Grottoes witnessed a historical legend that broke the norm one by one. That's Emperor Zhaowen of the Northern Wei Dynasty moved the capital to Luoyang with the beginning of the gantry. That is the myth of Wang Zuant's destroying a country alone. That's rational Wu Zixin. Utilize Buddhism to realize your integrity aspirations. That's a day Tang woman. Show off your own strength and aesthetics. Over the next 1,000 years, the wind and rain are blowing here. Thieves are here to steal and loot. Many of them have become dilapidated. And the stars behind him, it's long gone. Time passes like a river of water, day and night. But when the Buddha looks at all beings today, the stars of the Tang Dynasty are not among all living beings.